you're going to get a degree at
It's a pleasure to see you.
Congress to campus.
Yes, I would love for you to talk. I would love for you to talk a little bit to these young people about the importance of voting and of public service.
Well, first of all, the worst voting cohort is 18 to 25-year-olds. The best are the old folks. As a result, the old folks were treated much better by Congress than young folks. And so it's in your best interest to vote. And when you say, well, Congress didn't do so-and-so, that would benefit me as a student, maybe the reason is because you and your fellow students didn't vote. It's in your self-interest to vote and have your voice heard on issues that are important to you. It is an obligation of a citizen, but an obligation that by young people is not lived up to, is ignored. And you might find that if you were voting in the same percentages as those who are 60 and older, you'd have a whole lot more financial aid. You'd have a whole lot more assistance to colleges and universities for the operation of their institutions. So it really is a matter not only of an expectation of a good citizen to vote and participate in the democracy, but it is in your self-interest to vote.
I'd take a slightly different.
That's selfish.
No, not less so. I think it's true that voter participation is low with young people because you're busy trying to get an education or get your life organized and a lot of other things, and it takes a while to get figure out a lot of the different. You get a paycheck and you don't pay attention to all the different deductions and all the rest. Usually when people get a family and get a house and get a real estate bill, or maybe have a dispute about something or another having to do with the neighbor, they then start saying, hey, how does this all work? And go down to the city hall or to the zoning commission or their child to the school council, try to figure out the system and then become more active in it. The truth is here we are in Congress, so people, and the media focuses at the national level, obviously on the national political system, the Congress, president, and all the rest of it. The reality is that our government is still largely local and to some extent state rather than federal, and that in fact there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans who are serving in elective positions and advisory positions, often with no pay on city councils, school boards, condo committees, all the rest of it that provide for self-governance and make the system work, even including jury duty and all the rest of that. So taking those responsibilities seriously is very important, not just for you, but for your neighbor. If someone's coming in and they've been accused of some crime and you've been asked to serve because they usually do it off the voter rolls, you register a vote and then they select citizens to serve on the jury. Most people take that very seriously because someone could end up having their life ruined if you made a mistake. And you want to be sure you don't send people away who are being railroaded and all the rest of it. Yet, if jurors don't do that, it ruins people's lives. So I think it's very important, obviously, to engage in public service. Our country would not be a free country if it was just the national government and all that. If citizens were not assuming responsibility every day to help make the local government units work. And as you get older and established, I hope you think about getting involved, not just in what we call government formally, but with all these professional associations, people serve on their boards, their churches and church councils. Those are all part of living in a free society. If a non-free, all of the service organizations, all of these things are where individuals attempt to pay back to their profession or to their community, and that's what makes things work and enables us to have a much more hard-nosed, private, competitive economy where people, there are winners and there are losers, and that's what makes the system works. But if you lose, then what happens? And that's where you have a whole third volunteer economy as well as different government safety net issues to help people, and that helps support having a hard-nosed competitive economy that makes the country efficient and competitive overall, rather than just having to cut it down all of our expectations and hopes for standard living because we're afraid of having the competition that would produce the best results.
And if all of the work done by civic and volunteer organizations had to be accomplished by workers paid by the government, imagine what the budget and the debt would be. Because it's billions and trillions of dollars in benefit to yourself and your neighbors from volunteer and civic organizations. And that is a part of public service and your obligation as a citizen.
Well, that's one of the big problems with the gradual, not gradual, but with the difficulty that the traditional family has been having in that social programs, other people attempt to help invest in children, but you can never, as a society, afford to pay people to do what parents and uncles and aunts and grandparents do for nothing in terms of providing a framework and investing time in small children. And that helps, obviously people go down to the library, make something out of yourself, but if you don't have that framework and that support, it's hard. And this is a big concern.